Well, the FBI had this information for 8 months before I got it. I acted on it in 2 weeks. They didn't act on it at all. The only reason they revived this investigation is because I made this public. They was willing to sit on this right through the election, see Trump defeated, Biden elected, and then they could go back to be like the way they were under Comey. I don't know what's wrong at the upper levels of the FBI. And when we say the FBI, I do not mean the people in the field. They're being misserved. They're being double-crossed. There's a sickness at the top of the FBI that has not been removed. It's been there since they fixed the case on Hillary and went after Trump on false charges. Very, very dangerous people. I don't know what they have in mind.
And why is it
you can't sit on information like this?
Well, they not only sat on it, the information you turned over to the Delaware State Police, they turned over to the FBI. The information that has been brought forward by Senator Johnson's committee, they basically intervened in a senatorial investigation and blocked Bobulinski from testifying before them. This looks like a crisis in the making if I've ever seen one. And why in the hell isn't someone telling this FBI director to stand down or stand up, one or the other?
I can't answer that for you, Lou. I think he should have been gone a long time ago. I mean, I lost confidence in him when he wasn't turning documents over to the House committee, claiming they were classified. In no way were they classified. They just made clear that Hillary Clinton was responsible for the Russian hoax. I mean, as his defense lawyer, the president's defense lawyer, can you imagine how angry I am that I didn't have that 2 years ago? We could have ended the whole thing. I don't know what's wrong with Mr. Wray, but there's something wrong with him.
And there's much wrong in this government, and we're going to take that up. And the Democratic candidate for president, the Democratic nominee for president, what's wrong with him? We'll be taking it up with Rudy Giuliani as we continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after these quick messages. Please stay with us. We're back with Rudy Giuliani. And Rudy, I want to turn to the issue of Joe Biden's corruption and the accusations of corruption. And I want to show the audience, because there's been a suggestion that the vice president didn't do a single thing, as he put it, that was out of line while he was in office. And we're going to show the audience, please, Hunter Biden's foreign profits while he was, in fact, vice president, over $12 million worth. $3.5 million to Hunter Biden, the wife of the mayor of Moscow. That's Russia, if you're counting countries. $3.5 million. $4 million for work on the board of Burisma. That's Ukraine. $4.8 million in consulting fees from Chinese business associations. That's $4.8 million from China. A $100,000 shopping spree for various members of the Biden family from a Chinese national citizen. That, according to the U.S. Senate report on Hunter Biden, Burisma, and Biden corruption. This is stunning stuff, and yet the national left-wing media, Rudy, says time after time that there is nothing here. It looks like a great deal is here, and as to your point, 10 months the FBI had that laptop and didn't do a thing until they found out you had possession of it.
Yeah, and also, Lou, I have to tell you, those are very conservative numbers. When I go through the laptop, it adds up to more like about 30 or 40 million that they made while he was vice president. And the important thing is he tells you on the email that he gave half of it to his father while he was vice president, which makes it a straight out and out bribe. That's admissible testimony, by the way. That's an admission, that statement that he made. It could be used in a court of law. Bobulinski confirms it. Several other text messages confirm it. And there are 5 witnesses over in Ukraine ready to come over and testify that he got paid a bribe there, too. And they've been held up by the State Department, the deep State Department.
It is.
I mean, there's a trial here that could be done that would be fabulous for a trial lawyer. I'd love to try it.
Well, I know you would. It's pretty clear that the FBI and the Justice Department don't want any part of trying cases against prominent Democrats. They've made that very clear over the course of the past 5 years. Actually, the preceding 8, they didn't do much either. But the fact of the matter is, the FBI in possession of all of this, there has been one pattern that has persisted throughout Obamagate. And that is, quite simply, the FBI is a place where truth goes to die and hopes for truth go to die. I can't think of a single report from the FBI, whether it's Benghazi, whether it is the first 11 months of investigating President Trump. People forget about that period, the so-called Crossfire Hurricane. The results were to try to frame the President of the United States, and no one is ever held accountable. And at this point, the American people have got to be sick to their stomachs to what the FBI now stands for and the so-called Department of Justice. And by the way, where is William Barr? He's gone radio silent.
Well, it's time for, hopefully he wins in 8 days, and it's time for major reform. The second part of draining the swamp now has to take place with much better knowledge of just how bad the swamp is. It was much worse than he thought, much worse than I thought. But don't think that in any way inhibits him from doing what's necessary. He'll also go after those big tech crooks and break them up the way Teddy Roosevelt broke up the trust in the beginning of the 20th century.
Big tech and social media.
This is the kind of thing that motivates Donald Trump.
This president, by the way, he's acting like a man, as I said at the top of the broadcast, a man half his age, but it's actually more than that because he has more energy than most people half his age. His campaign schedule alone should make Joe Biden, it should embarrass him, frankly. Your thoughts about the best case for President Trump's reelection?
He's the only one who has the ability to carry this country forward. I mean, Joe Biden is going to take us into a depression with tax increases, trying to do away with oil, trying to do away with fracking, trying to raise taxes by, $4 trillion?
Just
displacement of people. $4 trillion, yeah. I'm sure he's going to start giving money to Iran again like he and Obama did. He'll get back into that Iran agreement, and everything in the Middle East that we've gained will lose. I mean, we don't even mention it, but look at the tremendous things that Trump has been able to accomplish in the Middle East. 4 peace agreements that were thought impossible and would be impossible to an Obama or to a Biden. I mean, it would be a big step back for this country and a step towards socialism and maybe even communism.
Yeah. Well, it certainly would be a far step away from Americanism and capitalism and all that has made this country great.